Canada, I mean, Connor Bedard, Connor Bedard, Connor Bedard, Connor Bedard. What else can you say about this team if it's not talking about Connor Bedard? I don't have his exact points totals in front of me because I don't think it even matters because everybody now has heard from not just the hockey world. I've had my brothers who don't give a hoot about hockey, let's just say. They'll turn over to me and say, "Hey, is this Connor Bedard guy really this good? Because he's all over my feed." And the answer I always give them is yes. He's the next Connor McDavid. Keep an eye out for him. And I want to know if there's anybody else who's crazy or actually agrees with me in this podcast right now. Can you tell me he's not the next Connor McDavid?
Listen, World Juniors cemented two things. One, we still have no idea what goalie interference is. And two,
Yes.
Connor Bedard is insane. And yes, he's the next Connor McDavid. We haven't I don't think we've seen a prospect this hyped since McDavid. And rightfully so. You saw the way he tore up like NHL prospect and people that are on NHL teams, right? He's playing with Chain, right? He's playing against players that have been in or played in the NHL. They were young, but they're NHL players. And he tore this league up. And he's so quick. His release on his shot is ridiculous. Like he's going to be a problem in this league. It is going to be a gift from God for whichever team wins the lottery this year.
Yeah, gift from God. I mean, you said it right there, Lou. I mean, Connor is everything and that. I mean, there's nothing that says that he isn't. I mean, I think this Canada junior team win is just the realization and confirmation of all of that stuff that we've been hearing. I mean, I've seen throughout my entire social media feed back in during finals wasn't when I wasn't even really watching hockey and I was like, "Oh, I better pay attention to this guy." His stat line's crazy. I mean, I think so far through the 2022-23 season, he scored 70 points in 29 regular season games with his Regina Pats junior team, which is insanity. That's crazy. Like you said, Lou, whoever ends up getting the lottery for this guy is they're going to be one happy team. It's going to be exciting to see what he does when he finally gets to the league.
Well, Bedard finished with 23 points over 7 games at the juniors, 14 assists, 9 goals. The next highest point scorer was Logan Cooley of the U.S., who had a terrific tournament with 14 points in 7 games, which is insane. That's 2 points per game,
Those are
seven
good.
goals, seven
Those are good
assists.
numbers, and it's 9 points less than
But
Bedard.
it's just drowned out by Connor Bedard and his 23 points. I mean, you think about he's born in 2005. Let that sink in. He's a 70-point scorer for the Regina Pats at 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 17 years old. He's of 2005 birthday, definitely going first overall. But he didn't get a point in the final, oddly enough. Dylan Gunther scored, Shane Wright scored. Those are not household yet, but those are emerging NHL talents too that Canada has that no other country has the luxury of having in the juniors, unfortunately. So for the U.S. to have gone as far as they did, I think to wrap it up, that semifinal game against Canada, I mean, it was definitely littered with controversy. I don't think the goal to make it 3-2 was even remotely goalie interference. I mean, we briefly touched on this last week, but maybe I'm still a bit bitter about it. I don't know. One final thing to end on, and we'll leave it a little gross for the listener and potentially viewer if this is the clip we use for YouTube. I hope not. But Connor McDavid, we talked about him a minute ago. Something was going around on social media about him, and I just want to bring this up because it's ridiculous. He has worn the same pair of socks, not hockey socks, mind you, socks underneath his skates for his entire career, was it?
Mhm.
Some of that.
Because they don't make them anymore. Hey, look, I'm not in any position to be giving Connor McDavid advice about hockey. But hey, I got a bit of advice, Connor. Get new socks, dude. Why did I have to see that so many times, man? What was going
Yeah.
on?
On the one hand, I guess, hey, how's it working out for him? He's the best player in the world. On the other hand, socks are supposed to cover your toes in an ideal world, and those simply aren't doing that. It's like you ever seen those like the gloves where they cut the fingers off so you can like touch your phone, but like it'd be as if you didn't have any gloves on your knuckles. That's essentially what these socks are doing. It's like Listen, I get superstitions because I'm superstitious, and hockey players especially are
Mhm.
superstitious. But at some point, man, yeah, get a new pair of socks. Yeah, I think you'll still be pretty good. I guess maybe you won't be the best player in the world anymore, but he'll still be okay.
Yeah, I mean, hockey players are superstitious. Back when I used to play, I mean, like guys wouldn't like wash their jerseys, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Disgusting.
Which is nasty. I get it, but I mean, I think that's a little bit better than socks, I guess. But the main question
Slightly.
I have is, with this man's multi-million-dollar sponsors, how does he not just have someone produce the sock that he really wants for them? You know what I mean? Because I read into the story a little bit. Apparently, he said the reason why he keeps wearing them is, yeah, superstition, but also because he just likes the sock, I guess, that much and they don't make them that same way anymore. But why? I mean, I don't understand it. But I guess
I mean, listen, I'm particular about socks and shoes, but like you can find other comfortable socks.
yeah,
I've done it. I've gone to a store at Old Navy. Oh, these socks look nice, and they work. Like he'll be okay.
yeah,
I mean, 4 losses out of his last 5 games. Maybe it's the socks. I don't
Time
know,
time to
man.
change it up,
I
dude.
mean, I mean, maybe grab a new pair there, buddy. I don't know.
yeah.
With that said, I think superstitions is a big part of hockey. It always has been. I know guys when I played had superstitions. Nothing as crazy as never changing the pair of socks, but people would wear the same sort of clothes every day, would always put on the same equipment first, even if it was not something you should be putting on first. I don't know, stuff like that.
Yeah, but
Hockey
and
players,
that's
hockey players
I
are
like
weird.
I rock with that. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Like,
yeah.
yeah, I put my shoes on the same exact way every day. Like those are cool superstitions that don't affect anybody who would hear about them. This has ruined my day.
Yeah, like I knew people who would refuse to play unless they had the right amount of tape around their knees, a right amount of tape
I
on their
like
on
that
their
makes
on their
sense to
shin
me. That
pad.
makes a little bit
And
of
I'm
sense.
like that, yeah, you're entitled to do that. If those guys were also like, hey, I'm gonna walk around with my toe sticking out of my socks and I'm never gonna change it, I'd also be like, maybe change it. You know what I mean? So Connor, just like that's just a little food for thought for you. At the same time, though, keep killing it. You're on a 130 point pace this year. You're the best player of my lifetime, perhaps, until Connor Bedard joins the league. I
He's
do
gonna get
not
a
know.
he's gonna get athlete's foot, right? If he keeps
I
using those socks.
that's
You have
probably
to
like
think, right?
there's
Like
got to be a
I was thinking about that. That's a lock, right?
there's got to be a concern. I mean,
A little foot fungus
I've
going
never
on.
seen anything like that. I think he's the only athlete in the modern game who prefers to have his toes sticking out of his socks. I mean, it's strange, but it gets results. He's like at least he's pretty good. I think I hear he's like okay, right?
He's
He's
a
all right.
solid, above
He's an
average NHL
average.
player.
He's average.
Yeah.
Yeah.